What up, you guys? Big Daniel bringing another episode of Import Life Media. In this video, I'm going to be explaining what happened and what I saw. And this is in regards to the last video I posted about the underground midnight run, and towards the end of the night, two motorcyclists ended up in a crash and passing away. But I kind of want to explain, in my opinion, what went wrong, what I saw, and kind of what happened, you know, and then maybe even get some advice on how it could have been avoided and how in the future I will avoid it. All right, let's get into it.
Yo!
All right, first of all, this was it was very unavoidable. It was very tragic, very sad. To see the scene of the outcome, it wasn't something that anybody should just have to see and look at. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna first let you guys see the news report brought to you by Channel 7, ABC News. Let's go ahead and check out, give a listen to, and see what they had to say.
Two motorcyclists are dead after a crash in Irvine. It happened on the I-5 just after midnight. According to witnesses, they were both reportedly traveling in a large group on the freeway. They ultimately crashed, resulting in the death of the two riders. All northbound lanes were closed for about 4 hours. They have since reopened. Meantime, while deputies were on scene of that crash, a driver hit a CHP car. At this time, we don't know if anyone was injured. This video showing the driver being detained after reportedly failing a DUI test.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more.
All right, so the way these midnight cruises work is, quick explanation, I kind of gave it in the last video. There's a meetup location that's kind of spread out, and that's the first meetup location. Now, typically, you know, everybody has to get there kind of early. There is some kind of grace period for people to show up, and people from everywhere are showing up. Now, at around midnight, that's why it's called the midnight run, everybody rolls out. From the first meet spot, there's a first location, an address that's given to everybody. Now, the one cool thing about it is a lot of people get fake addresses. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just different addresses are floating around, so you don't know which one is real or not. But those that know, you already know what it is. And it's never the same location. It's always different, always changing. But what that does is that filters out people that just kind of want to just hang out, people that just want to just be a part of something, people that might even want to cause trouble and don't really know the proper etiquette in terms of how they should be behaving and how they should be driving with situations like this. Hey, I'll tell you what, I've been to a midnight run before where what ended up happening is certain drivers that are on the freeway, they see a bunch of cool cars, a bunch of people and everything like that. Well, at one point in time, a freeway was splitting. One was going, I don't know, east, the other one was going west, the other one was going north and south. And what happened was, during one incident, there was a group of girls that kind of just saw what was going on. They wanted to be a part of it. Now, they weren't part of the group at all. They were just driving and they saw everybody, and last minute, they try to hop over and switch over on the freeway to kind of be a part of the, you know, part of the fun. Let's go where they're going. And what ended up happening was they lost control of that last quick decision, and they ended up flipping their car on the freeway. Now, everybody was okay. They were perfectly fine. Nobody was harmed, thankfully. But everybody that was part of the group ended up pulling over, helping them, making sure they were okay. Because at the end of the day, fun is fun, enjoying your time and everything like that. But when somebody loses a life or somebody's life is in danger, it's all not worth it. But that just kind of gives an example of how bad things can happen. With this situation pertaining to the last video, we get the first location and we start going, you know? And then we get to the first location spot where everybody ends up, everything's dope. Interacting, you can get out your car, take pictures, talk to people, network, this and that. Now with these, some people just want to cruise, have a good time. Some people might want to race. Some people might, you know, want to do whatever. Now, typically the rule of thumb is this. If some people are racing, you don't want to be involved with that. If you want to race, usually slower drivers or people that are just getting to and from, they stay in the far right lanes, okay? Now, people that want to go fast, people that want to test their cars out, people that want to race each other, they're in the fast lanes. And the reason why is because you don't want to be driving and having some car flying up. What if they don't brake in time? Or you don't want them to be dipping in, you know, in and out of traffic and possibly losing control, hurting themselves or other people. So regular drivers, we kind of stay to the right. People that want to go speed racer, they stay to the left. Now, the reason why it's usually done at midnight or thereafter is because that's the time when there's the least amount of people on the roads, on the freeways and things like that. I call it, I guess, kind of controlled chaos because it's a big group of people out trying to have fun, cruise, get their cars out, do whatever. You know, some people want to take part in illegal driving or racing, that's on them. But at least it brings down the sense of harm to themselves and others because it's open roads. Now, first spot, our first location, cool. Going to the second location, everything was once again still cool. It was that last location. Now, we're going down the freeway, and like I said, I don't want to say where the location was in terms of where we started or even where we ended up. I'm not going to say the name of the groups or anything like that because there's multiple groups. Now, when we're driving down the freeway, I noticed the other way back, there was no cars on the freeway at all. No cars. Then I noticed a bunch of like lights, you know what I mean? Police lights, highway patrol that was blocking off the freeway. Didn't think anything of it because you see a lot of freeway blockages and stuff like that. And we go and all we see is highway patrol headlights and lights on the roof. And there was about maybe a good quarter to almost a half mile of space. And then you see another stoppage of police and ambulances. And then some more space of nothing. And then now this is the big fire trucks blocking the whole freeway. You know what I mean? So there's space in between. I was tripping out. So much so to where when there's traffic, everybody that was on the freeway was either standing outside, sitting on the hood of their car, kind of looking around because, you know, people need to get to where they have to go and all that. And I was kind of tripping out because I'm like, damn, I was like, at some point in time, I have to go back. I have to sit in that. Hopefully the freeway's opened up. You know what I mean? Hopefully it was just a tire or a mattress or whatever on the road. Well, we get to the last location and enjoying ourselves, and we all got word on what happened. And pretty much, and I saw the video. I'm not gonna post a video. It was posted online, but I'm pretty sure it, got taken down. But what ended up happening was, from the video that I saw, a lot of the cars were on the right side, and on the left side, it was open freeway. Open freeway, no cars. Well, everybody's driving, and you see this motorcycle come flying past everybody, right? And in the distance, you can like very kind of hazily see some taillights, and that was to another motorcycle. You know, number one, motorcycle taillights are super small, they're not the brightest, okay? So there was no brake lights. So the bike that was flying easily going like 160. You know what I mean? And it just so happened that it hit the bike in front of him, and you could see the explosion of the bike and everything like that. So it was almost like in any lane he could have picked, or even just on somebody he happened to but he's going so fast that by the time he saw the bike in front of him, it was already too late. No room to correct. The rider who was just going, he didn't know what would hit him. You know what I mean? Because it's from behind, there's no warning or anything like that, which is sad. As soon as the impact happened, you see a bike explode, and then, all kind of sparks from it sliding and everything like that. Now, they weren't just left on their own. Nobody just took off. The group that they were with, you see a lot of the people pull over on the side of the freeway, trying to register CPR, trying to help, trying to do anything to revive and resuscitate, because they were pretty much, it looked as if they were dead on the scene, but trying anything just to help. You know what I mean? And that says a lot because nobody asked for that, nobody wanted that. But the fact that people would still try to help, it shows how important each of us are. It shows how important that life is, outside of just trying to have fun and enjoy yourself. Now, the bad thing is I wasn't a part of that group, but the bad part is because, like I said, there's different groups that go out, you know what I mean, and do different things. And this group that I saw was so happened to be going the other direction. The group that we were with had our own routes, had our own plans. Just so happened on some small world, another entity, I guess, was kind of doing the same thing that night. But the bad part though is that I don't believe that there was any rules, any set standards of how to ride. I mean, I know a lot of people are saying, hey, look, if there's gonna be any type of runs, the motorcycles and the cars need to be separate. The bikes can have and do their own thing on any night, their own cruises, meetups, whatever, outside of the cars, the bigger vehicles. Because when it's a mixture, just everything, all it takes is for, a bike to just go down, or a car to switch lanes and not see a bike flying up past them, and the bike can't just stop, you know? So there should have been some set rules and regulations, things like that, to better help everybody get to and from safely. It just sucks. There was a GoFundMe, there was a fundraiser and everything like that for the fallen riders, because you know, they still have families that love them and people that care about them. But it's just sad because the people that are involved isn't so much filtered through. Like I said, the fake addresses and things like that, we try to do that. But it was just crazy to see. And outside of me seeing it on the freeway, seeing it when we got to the spot, because people had immediate footage. And it wasn't like footage to where I was trying to brag, because everybody had their phones out and cameras and stuff, and it goes around quickly. It was more footage in terms of this is what can happen and this is what did happen. Everybody needs to be careful. By the time I started going back home, the freeways and everything had already cleared up. But understand, when a bike goes down, the bike is gonna slide, okay? The bike is gonna slide and go however far it's gonna go. But at the same time, the bodies of these individuals are also sliding. So I think that's why I saw a breakage of where the big fire trucks were, and there was space. I think that space right there was all the wreckage and metal and parts and everything like that was on the ground. Plus, like I said, there's oil, antifreeze, coolant. There's so much stuff, brake fluid on the ground that everybody can't just drive through. The next break was either the bikes or possibly the bodies and things like that. It was a long distance. But by the time it was time for me to go home, all of that, most of it was cleaned up, because they have to do an investigation, shut down the freeway. The news came out. It's a long time. I ended up getting home that morning at around like 5:30, 6 o'clock. But I just wanted to kind of touch on and talk about that last video and how it ended, and show you guys the news report and what actually happened. Bad things can happen, but if you not so much are an experienced driver, but you just think, you know, a lot of the bad can be avoided, you know what I mean, as best as possible. But if you guys have any questions or comments or input, if you guys happen to see it or know about it, go ahead and leave it in the comment section, and I'll respond back. I always do, you know. But this is kind of a bittersweet video. 2 people did lose their lives. It could have been avoided, but it's also something educational for everybody else to pay attention to, be wary of, and be aware of that things can happen, you know, whether it's your fault or not. The rider who's flying, he was probably just trying to max out his bike or just have a night of just being free, and he pushed his limits. And the other rider who was going ahead, who ended up getting rear-ended and also passing away, you know, he didn't do anything wrong, you know. And truthfully, I think it was, the way it seemed, even on the video, it was a legit accident. They weren't racing. One was already just chilling, other one came from behind. So it wasn't 2 people that were racing at all. So if that is what is being said, or that's what you hear, that's not true. They were not racing each other. And, you know, at the end of the day, the rider who got hit, he wasn't at fault. The rider who crashed into the other, yeah, you can say he was speeding, but he wasn't dipping in and out of traffic or anything like that. From what he saw, it was a clear, open freeway, but he was going so fast that, you know, a tire could have been on the road, a pothole, a dip, anything, you know, anything could have happened. Let's say it wasn't another bike, anything could have been on the freeway, and by the time he saw it, it would have been too late, you know? And that's just what it is. It was a legit accident. But because of that, 2 people lost their lives. I just want you guys to be safe out there, you know? I want you guys to continue enjoying building your cars, trucks, your bikes. Enjoy what you love, but make sure you do it to where you're able to see another day and you're able to wake up the next morning. All right, if you haven't done so yet, please like and subscribe. Add me on IG at Import Life Media. And from me to you, love y'all. Thank you for tuning in my videos. And just be smart. Be smart. Live to see another day. All right, stay blessed, y'all.